All right. Welcome
Right.
to the podcast.
Hi.
Hi. I'm excited to have you. I would love for you to share a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yes. Well, my name is Lashana Standard. I'm teacher's aide right now, going back to school to become a teacher for pre-K to third grade with special education and early childhood together.
Love it. But obviously, you have a story to tell.
Yes.
So take us back on your journey to motherhood and share with us your lost story.
Yes. My lost story. I lost my daughter Shaniya at 34 weeks due to an unknown placenta abruption. What happened was, well, I had two boys previously, and I was so excited to have my daughter. I was like, yes, pink, pink. I'm tired of blue. Was finally able to see pink. And I went to my doctor's appointment on a Wednesday, which was February the 21st. Yeah, the 21st. Everything was fine. She was head down. So I'm like, okay, yes, I'm ready to meet her soon. And that Saturday, I woke up around 5 a.m. because my son was coughing. He has asthma. I was like, okay, let's go on the machine. After I put him on the machine, I went back to sleep. And usually my daughter is up kicking around 6 a.m., but I was knocked out, didn't wake up till 7:30. So around 7:45, I started having contractions. I'm like, oh, I'm getting ready to meet my baby girl. Yes. Then it just became painful and was like getting more painful and painful. So I called in my boyfriend, like, I think we need to go to the hospital because these contractions, they're getting painful. They're not like, regular contractions. So we get to the hospital. They send me right up to mother, baby, asked me what was going on. I said, I'm having abdominal pain. It's really like rapid contraction that's painful. I never experienced this with my boys. So they put me on, what's that, like the Doppler ultrasound. So they're trying to find, it was two nurses trying to find the baby heartbeat. They're like, oh, we don't need detecting your heartbeat. And I'm like, oh, these contractions is hurting. So like, okay, we're gonna go over here. And it's like, oh, still contracting. Still for your heartbeat. So I said, we're gonna call the doctor. The doctor came in with the ultrasound screen. Then he put his hand on his head. I'm like, okay, anything going on? He was like, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a second doctor. So then I picked up the phone, started calling my boyfriend. And I was telling him, I'm like, you need to come upstairs because he was trying to find parking at the hospital. He's like, okay, I'm on the elevator. I'm like, it's not looking good. They saying he'd be right back with another doctor. I'm like, okay, I'm thinking, maybe something wrong with the baby or. So then he came back. My boyfriend was in the room by the time the second doctor came. And they was like, oh, I'm sorry, Miss Standard. Your baby don't have a heartbeat. I'm like, huh? She was just moving last night. Like, what you mean she don't have a heartbeat? So they did it again. I was like, yeah, I'm sorry to tell you, heartbeat, you're going to have to deliver your baby within, a couple hours. We got to give you Pitocin to speed it up. So as I'm getting up for the nurse to wheelchair me to the labor room, it was like a whole bunch of blood just came on. I was just so in shock. And she was like, oh, well, we can't walk. We're going to have to put you in the wheelchair because you're bleeding heavily. I'm like, I was just so in shock seeing all the blood. So they gave me IV with the Pitocin. What else did they do? Yeah, the Pitocin. And then they induced my labor for my water. They had to break my water. And then maybe because I went at 9:10, I didn't have her until 2:25. And when I delivered her, the room was so quiet. I'm like, I'm not used to this. Like, I didn't cry because I was still in shock. And once they delivered her, they put her on in the little temperature thing. And then they gave me some, like, well, you can see her if you want to. I'm like, I was kind of upset because they should have just put her right on me instead of them putting her into the little temperature thing. And then I grabbed her and I was like, oh my God, my daughter's so beautiful with all this hair. Of course, she looked like her dad, not me. And I had an autopsy done on her. It was as I was going into labor, I guess they said like the cord came first and then she came second, and somehow it wrapped around her neck 3 times, which caused like the oxygen for her to have less oxygen. And I was like, that was just, I was just so happy to have a girl after having 2 boys.
Wow. So after you delivered her, did the hospital give you any options on what you could do to bury
Yes,
her, or what did they do next? Did you have a
they gave
memorial or
me,
funeral?
they had gave me like a pamphlet with like the funeral homes, different funeral homes in the area to have like a memorial or like to cremate her. I decided to cremate her to bring her home with us, of course. And she's in a little urn sitting on my TV stand.
Did you all have a memorial for her, or did y'all just went ahead and cremated her?
Just had cremated her.
Understood.
Yep. Yeah,
Understood.
just
So
the
then
2 of
how did
us.
you all go through your grieving process after you actually came home and
Well,
tried
once I
to
came home,
heal? Yeah.
I came home and I was just like just so in shock, not having a baby home with me. I had some stuff that, was delivered to my home from people ordering off my registry. And I was like, oh, I just put it away. And of course, dads, they grieve differently. He might have like, he didn't show no, like, I guess like sadness. Maybe he did. Maybe he was in a car if I wasn't home. But even though he would hug me and stuff and say, like he's sorry that I lost the baby, but he wouldn't show no grief. Man, he grieved on his own at times when maybe he was alone, but not around me. And my sons, they were sad. I can say like we all went to counseling. Things happen. Like we was gonna have a baby, but instead we had an angel. That was it. Like dads grieve differently than moms. I can say that. But I'm the one that took it hard. Like I really took it hard. I went to counseling. I did support groups for maybe like a year because I really wanted that girl.
Understand that.
Yeah.
It definitely will take a toll on
Mm-hmm.
you. So I'm happy that you did get some help through counseling and working with
Mm-hmm.
support groups. What other things did you do? Did you think about trying again to have another baby after
Well, I did 2 years. Yep, 2 years later, 2020, I got pregnant with my rainbow baby, and he was a boy. I was happy, but at the same time, I was kind of sad. I was like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna be a boy mom. And he's now 2 years old, and we just love him. He's just so attached to me. I said, well, maybe that's his little sister. He's just so attached to me. Everywhere I want, if I go out, he just start crying. I'm like, oh boy, I'll be back. Yep, I had a rainbow baby boy, and now I'm currently pregnant again with my double rainbow, and I'm due in 2 months. And it's a boy.
And another boy. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. So how has these rainbow pregnancies been for you? How was your pregnancy with your other boy? And then how has this pregnancy been with you?
With my
Especially
other
since you've
boy,
experienced
yeah.
loss before. So I know it's difficult, and I want you to share about just any anxieties or worries or frustrations you've had through pregnancy to let people know that it does not go away. You know?
Hey, don't go away, because when I was pregnant with my 2-year-old, my anxiety was through the roof. Every little thing, I would just go to the hospital. If I didn't feel him move, I'm going to the hospital. Or if I felt him like kicking me a lot, I'm going to the hospital. I had to get what do they call it? It's called like Makina injections, whereas the keep the baby from being premature. I had to start that at 16 weeks to 36 weeks. And I had to go see an MFM every other week for ultrasound, growth, stress tests. And I mean, my anxiety was through the roof with him. And now with this pregnancy, it's the same. It's still the anxiety, like, okay, Lord, just let me make it to whatever, how many weeks, no prematures, just go to maybe like 38 weeks, the full term. And the same thing with the doctors, they're monitoring me. The same thing, I'm getting Makina injections, baby aspirin, going every other week to the MFM, and just my doctor checking up on me regularly, or if any concerns, I just go to the hospital.
So good, so good. So you feel like you have the right support team around you.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yes.
navigate through this subsequent rainbow
Yes.
baby pregnancy. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
so such a blessing, such a blessing
Thank you. Thank
to
you.
be able to navigate through it. And then obviously share your story as you're navigating through it. So I would love for you to talk about your organization that you started
Okay.
on behalf of your
Yes,
daughter
sir.
and what you all are doing.
Yeah, I started, well, back in 2020 during the pandemic. I was thinking like, okay, what can I do? So I started Shaniya's Gift. I was thinking of a name. I came up, okay, yeah, Shaniya's Gift. Yeah, 2020 I started. 2021, that's when I became a nonprofit. I donated over 100 teddy bears to the local areas in my hospital. And I just started recently, came up with maybe sending a mom an e-gift card for a meal, or what I want to say, like self-care products at Bath and Body Works. So I've been trying to like come up with ideas with that, for reaching out to the, to the lady at the hospital that who also, she's like a bereavement, the support group counselor who I was attending. So I reached out to her and she's like, oh, sure, that's great. That'll be a good idea. So she's helping me with that, with, trying to get gift cards for the moms. I'm trying to help moms all over the state, but right now I'm like in New Jersey, doing for New Jersey.
Love it. Love that you started a nonprofit on behalf of your daughter to really honor her, but then also give back in this way,
Yes.
especially to bereaved mothers and parents in the hospital. So that's amazing.
Yes.
Love the work that you're doing. So what encouraging words can you leave with our listeners, those who may be in 2023 looking to try to get pregnant, those who are gone through loss, or those who are currently pregnant and are just navigating what life is to be a mom, not only to kids who are in heaven, but also kids who are physically here on earth?
I would say don't lose hope, keep the faith. There are gonna be some days, sometimes you're gonna have sad days, you're gonna have good days. Like, this grief don't go away. If you're pregnant with a rainbow, your grief is not gonna go away, it's not gonna replace your baby that you lost. And just keep being strong. And like I said, if they need anybody to talk to, they can reach out to me. I'm here for open ears. And like, to me, I just say I did support groups and counseling for a year. If, some people that might not help them, but or there are other ways they can reach out for other resources that might help them.
Absolutely. So where can we connect with you and Shaniya's Gift so we can be a part of all the things that you're going to do this year?
On Instagram at Shaniya's Gift, Shaniya's _gift1. And then Facebook, I have a Facebook page, Shaniya's Gift. And my email is shaniyasgift@gmail.com. And I have my website too at www.shaniyasgift.org.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Lashana, for being on the podcast and sharing your story.
Yes.
And I love that you're here. And we know that this double rainbow that you're going to have is going to be another blessing to your family.
Yes. Yes, even though it's a boy, but I'm happy.
Basically, what you're saying is that you're gonna try again for a girl.
No.
She's like, no, I am officially a boy mom, and I've got it in my head.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Yes, thank you for having me. Thank you.